Solitude in E minor.
Yeah, E minor, all right, yeah!
What does the name Squidward Tentacles mean to you? To many, it is synonymous with words like grouchy, egotistical, cynical, miserable, self-absorbed. This was how the world at large perceived Squidward, due to his behavioral tendency to lash out against his peers and colleagues who would often remind him of his own artistic failures and imprisonment within the drudge of his menial everyday life as a fast food cashier. But deep within the abrasive exterior of this stifled cephalopod lies a true wellspring of, as he calls it, unrecognized talent. To understand Squidward's passion, we must explore his life and various works of art and see how they reflect how he perceives himself and how he perceives the world. What Squidward was most known for were his musical efforts. As a clarinetist, Squidward failed miserably. His practice sessions were known to cause major discomfort, put people to sleep, and on one occasion even garner attention from a nearby pet hospital, mistaking his performance for a dying animal on the premises. But despite this, he always continued to pursue music, whether it be as a clarinet performer, conductor, or composer. This begs the question, was his tenacity towards artistic success a result of ignorance towards his inability, or acceptance of it and refusal to let it inhibit his creative process? Perhaps the answer lies in his works of visual art.
And now that I've been immortalized in wax, I have conquered all artistic media.
While Squidward remained egotistical in his exploration of visual art, the results here clearly differ from those of his music in several ways. For one, while he still never obtained commercial success, his proficiency was noticeably greater. And second, his creations were almost solely self-portraits. This may be construed as conceited, but self-portraiture is a valid art form, and one that is arguably impossible to capture in music. Is this why his music failed? Well, let us explore the success of his art first.
I call it bold and brash.
Bold and Brash, his most famous piece, now coveted as a holy grail of self-portraiture among the likes of Van Gogh and Frida Kahlo, can be translated as confident and abrasive. Is this a rare, subtle acknowledgement of his personality?
I call this one Squidward en Repose.
Squidward on Repose, a lesser-known piece from the same collection, is a rather interesting smaller-scale modern-style sculpture, and it translates to Squidward in Rest.
I call it oppression.
Mopression, an amalgam of mope and oppression, reflects the lethargy and all-consuming gluttony and greed of Squidward's workplace. He's had a small history as an anti-capitalist, leading a workers' strike with a considerable amount of experience and knowledge on the subject. A slave to his class, perhaps this was another factor inhibiting his success as an artist. Squidward Tentacles had gotten his works appraised by an esteemed art collector, Monty P. Moneybags, exactly once, while teaching an art class at the Bikini Bottom Rec Center. And his appraisal was less than generous.
I don't think that will fit in with the other pieces in my collection.
Why not?
Because it's an art collection!
The only piece that Moneybags found value in that day was by one of Squidward's students, a marble sculpture replica of Michelangelo's statue of David, only after removing Squidward's vain addition. Squidward had never faced such a direct rejection before. For someone who dedicates themselves tirelessly to all forms of artistic expression as their only escape from the nightmare of soul-crushing capitalist enslavement, being denied success and flat out told to his face that his art has no value, Squidward exploded in a fit of fury and rage. Denouncing all he had known, Squidward destroyed his studio and all of his works of art. But in doing so, he left behind a miracle. This untitled piece, a godly rendering of the human figure, perfectly sculpted from rigid marble in a single fit of passion, is ironically the only non-portrait piece Squidward Tentacles has ever created. Like Vincent van Gogh, Squidward Tentacles' artistic career remained unrecognized during his lifetime, and the true value of him and his works were only seen many years later. But perhaps the source of his marvelous creations, the fuel for his passion, was this chronic anger towards his stagnation and lack of recognition. If he had achieved the success he desired, he would have no fuel for his passion. Such is the ironic fate of the starved artist. And such is the ironic fate of Squidward Tentacles. And as Monty P. Moneybags said himself the day he discovered Squidward's famous sculpture,
You, sir, are the greatest artist who ever lived!